going into camp, some of the things that you wanted to look at now that you've had a couple of weeks? Has some of the things sort of materialized, maybe for some of the positions that you were looking at, like maybe right tackle, backup corners, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Nothing to report. I know you want something, but we're still battling right now. I mean, this is kind of the time where people separate themselves, and that just hadn't happened yet. So 10 practices into it, we have probably 10 more before game week. So this is kind of push through and separate yourself time. Okay, so we still have a lot of battles going on. Happy with the competition, happy with the way the guys are competing out there. Today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday are 4 very, very important practices to the point to where I'm not ready to make decisions on anybody at this time.
Is it the same spots, or has somebody pleasantly surprised you where they're sort of enters the conversation?
Yeah, quite a few. And that's been fun to watch. I mean, guys that we didn't know that we could count on are starting to come through. Again, it'd be unfair for me to mention names and stuff, but there's more competition at each and every spot that I haven't been a part of since I've been here. And that's really good news for the Houston Cougars. I mean, we got guys that are competing for starting jobs. We got guys that are competing for backup spots. We got guys that are competing for playing time on special teams. We got guys that are competing for an opportunity to get on the bus to go to San Antonio. So that's good. That's good. That's overall good news. I've been very pleased with that.
Coach, in the wide receivers room, you got a lot of youth there, not a lot of experience. How have you seen them adjust to this camp and stuff like that?
Yeah, I thought about this yesterday. We have 6 wideouts, 7 wideouts that are repping. 6 of them are freshmen. Now, it's a little misleading. Sam Brown just turned 20. He's got some playing experience. Man Jack has played. Cody Jackson has played. They got 4 years of eligibility. Most of them have 4 years of eligibility. I think Man Jack's got 3, but they're older. And that's the one thing that is kind of exciting about this team is we're kind of a veteran team. We got a lot of guys that have played a lot of snaps. I believe our average age is like 21 and a half. That's pretty old, when you take into consideration you got some 18-year-olds, 17, 18-year-olds out there, and then but the average player on our team is about 21 and a half.
Can Sam Brown and Manjack, can they give you another dimension, especially in the red zone?
Yeah. Sam looked really good in the red zone the other day. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with Manjack, and I don't really want to talk specifically about people at this point because again we're just still competing out there. But they're both pretty versatile. Sam's got height and strength, and Manjack's got the ability to play all 4 positions if he wants to because he looks pretty good. So yes. Hopefully. We need to be. I thought we were, I went through a red zone thing the other day. We were, as a football team, we were pretty good. I do these margins, and again, nothing that happened last year was anything to talk about at this point in time. But the touchdowns in the red zone, we were like 3rd in the country as a team. Offensively scoring them, I think we scored 71% of the time in the red zone. So I don't feel like we have red zone issues, but if you can add people to the equation to be able to score, that's definitely an advantage. And then defensively, we were, top 5 in preventing touchdowns in the red zone. That's kind of the key when you get down there because you're gonna get down there and you're gonna have to defend down there. It's all about scoring touchdowns.
About the running backs, have you seen some separation in there? I know you're looking for for carries behind Tajon. So how has that worked?
Stacy Sneed's looked really good. It's time for him to play. He's been here 2 years and he hadn't dressed out yet for a variety of reasons, but he's looked really good. Brandon Campbell has looked solid. Keelan has stayed healthy, which is good. And then Foley has Foley's just Mr. Reliable.
And in general terms of a corner, when you lose what you lose, but then you have guys like Alex and Art who got some experience. Do you feel you're not going to replace the two that you lost, but do you feel a little bit good about having at least some experience there, and then what you have behind them with Moses and a couple of other guys?
Yeah, I think we can replace them. I mean, I think recruited pretty well. It's just about just logging the reps, man. I mean, that's where we're at right now. In the next four practices as a team, we just got to keep logging reps and see who separates themselves. But Hogan's been out with a hamstring. He's gonna be fine, but he won't be out there today. And we know what he can do to the field. Art's been great to the boundary. Jalen Emery to the field has stepped up because we've been forced to play him because Hogan's not out there. So that's been some good news. Justice Hugo is big. He looks good to the field. Moses he's had a hamstring too, but he's out there today. So we got to continue to evaluate him. So we got some guys to choose from. We just got to rep them, and we plan on playing the same way we played last year. The reason we feel good about our starting corners is because we moved Marcus and Pepe all over the place to get Art and Hogan some reps. So that's going to happen again this year. Who those people are, we got battles going on to figure that out.
How do you see the kick return game sort of developing at this point?
Yeah, there's no Marcus. We have some guys that to choose from. Tank is fine. Matt Golden is very gifted catching kicks. Peyton Sawyer has looked really good. He's looked good on offense too. He's probably our second leading receiver as far as targets and catches right now in camp. I've been very happy with him. He'll get a look in the return game. Jace Rogers is very mature. Never thought I'd say that, but very mature, and has been playing very well, not only on defense but in the return game as well. Got some guys to choose from.
Is the preference not to use Tayshaun if you don't have?
Yeah, I'd prefer not to. I mean, those backs got a lot on them. I'd prefer not to use him back there. I think we got enough people that can do it to where we won't have to unless we need to.
Coach, a couple of equipment questions. Is this the first year they've had the captaincy on their practice jerseys?
Nah, we did that last year.
Okay, I just missed it last year.
I believe. Did we do it 2 years ago too? Started that in COVID, so you guys wouldn't have seen that.
Yeah. Okay. Also,
did it last year. Yes.
The new helmets. There's some new styles, and also the Guardian caps. How's that? How have they adjusted to that?
I thought they were going to buck a little bit, and they really haven't. I mean, once the NFL did it, it's going to trickle down into colleges, and if the NFL does it, then our players think it's cool. So they really haven't bucked it on that. We've had one concussion, in camp, which is very positive. So I think those things are legit, and I think they work. The other helmet, I don't know anything about that other helmet.
Like the one like Aussie's got.
There's about like Dot right there. You see, he doesn't have the pad on there because that helmet doesn't have a pad because it doesn't feel like it needs a pad.
Okay.
Because the equipment says that helmet is
Okay.
the top of the line one.
And also, last question: the red stripes.
I'm turning towards Dorchester because he's a former equipment manager.
Ah.
He's came a long ways. Okay, now he runs our program, but former equipment manager, so he knows all these answers to these questions.
The red stripes on the quarterback's helmets back this year.
For
eyesight stuff.
Eyesight. Just you can on video, you can see exactly where they're looking.
Okay.
Kyle and Bubba, is that still?
It's it's still a battle. We've lined up and kicked more field goals and up in 10 practices than I ever have ever. We've got a lot of good work. They're competing, So at some point we're gonna have to make a decision, but we're not ready to do that at this point.
One or two more?
Coach, just in general, about 2 weeks out from the opener, are they kind of where you want them? Or I know every coach always says they wish they had more time.
No, we're on track. Very pleased. I tell you, we're getting more work out of run-throughs and evening walkthroughs. Just the organization of our staff, I've been very pleased with how our staff's working together. We're getting a lot done. We're where we need to be. We just got to keep logging reps and letting them compete and let this thing kind of settle out. We'll switch gears next week. We got four more practices this week. Monday school starts, so we'll switch gears, and that reduces everything. We'll go through a mock week and kind of start honing in on UTSA.
Do you feel like having a more veteran team now finally is what contributes to you guys having a better time with not having to?
Should. I should. Every day's been good. We haven't had any bad days. We've been practicing well. We've been taking care of each other. We've been very professional. I'm happy with where we're at, and that has everything to do with maturity and guys with experience.